Hi, welcome. This is my ArcoLinux B Plasma. I started with the ISO of September and I just keep rolling. That's basically what ArcoLinux and ArcoLinux is all about. You start with an ISO, install the system, and you keep updating, right? But we have a lot of update videos as it is. So there are playlists on YouTube, so you should check them out. It's I think over 100 update videos, which is always interesting, of course. Any operating system, Linux, Windows or Mac, we all need to update all the time just to be safe. The same goes for smartphones, right? There are always updates. So that's not this video, right? But remember, there are playlists on YouTube to check it out. This video is what did we do in September, October, November of 2020. There's a lot of change, a lot of work we've done, and that's what this video is all about. All right. By terminal, welcome information about ArcoLinux, right? ArcoLinux information. Lots of information in here. Download ISOs, start here, galleries, blogs, donation, listing and contact. If we go to the right, you see also the release, the next release of the ISO. So we're aiming for Saturday, the 14th November. So then all the ISOs will be released. But if you are already a little bit longer with ArcoLinux, you know there is something called AAG, right? Help ArcoLinux with AAG. And that means that basically the ISOs are 1 week in advance, 1 week before the official release. We release it to the beta testers, the non-official beta testers, people who want to test out the ISO, install the ISO, give feedback on Discord, and here is Discord. You can join us there. All right, so in 1 week time, we'll have the release. You see also that something has changed for the coming year, and that's we're releasing in a bi-monthly. The number of ISOs have been increased like every month, right? So the work increases as well. So we decided to do a bi-monthly release, which gives us more time to develop and to look into projects and stuff like that. All right. So bi-monthly release. Next time we make a video for what did we do in November, December, January. All right. So join us on Discord, join us on Telegram. This is all about ArcoLinux and only about ArcoLinux. This can be all about any Linux operating system. That's Telegram, right? We have 1,600 plus videos just about ArcoLinux, ArcoLinux, you name it, it's there. Also an article about Calamares. We support Calamares 100%, if not 1,000%, right? But it changes, it's new, it's complex, and that's the article where everything is in. I mean, there are 30 videos in there, all kind of complexities, encryption, no encryption, with a home partition, without home partition. And there's something new about Calamares. The cheat sheet is there for you to help you uninstall stuff, right? Because maybe you know already, we have an ArcoLinux tweak tool. We can install the latest, the newest desktop here, DWM, with a click of a button. 3 seconds later, you have DWM in your system. That's all good and great, but how to get rid of it? Uninstalling things is not that easy. So that's more a manual kind of job. Sudo backbone -R. -R what? And that's the cheat sheet. The rest you can see, but let's go to the middle part here. So we'll end up going over this article. DWM is the new one, the new desktop we have released, thanks to the hard work of Steven, by the way. And this needs to stay here. There are 4 ways to install any desktop. People still are struggling what it's all about. Well, there are 4 options to install a desktop. 1. Use ArcoLinux DISO. Choose during the installation. Calamares gives you the choice of desktops. If you forget to install a desktop, you end in a black screen, right? So it's about making the right decisions. Maybe you would like to end up in a black screen. That's option 2. Use the ArcoLinux DISO. Minimal most minimal ISO we have, and then go ahead, right? Be an ArcoLinux user and say sudo pacman -s xfc4 xfc4 goodies. Where do you find it? archwiki xfc4. And you start typing. Or you use your scripts, or you use our scripts. Option 3, we can build an ISO. The B stands for don't download it, build it, right? You want to have Vivaldi on your ISO, you want to have GIMP on your ISO, or Inkscape, or anything like that. Well, it's not on there, right? So after a clean installation, it's not going to be there. You need to do more work. Do more work in advance and build it, and it's going to be there. And then the easiest way actually to install a tweak and desktop is the ArcoLinux tweak tool. So we have our Ctrl-Alt-E in our head, and that pops up, gives us, asks us our password, and then you say, which desktop will I install today, right? And DWM is the newest one. I've just installed it already, so I don't think we'll see anything. Just says here, DWM has been installed. So now I have a Plasma and I have a DWM. No problem, no issue. How to get there? You know how to get there. You log out. Power session, log out. And at the top right, you'll have a drop down, and I can choose DWM and I can choose Plasma, right? As simple as that. I've already installed it previously. So the tweak tool is a great thing to use, learn, have fun and enjoy. Great. And the scripts, the ArcoLinux D scripts, have been so completely rewritten that you can have a feeling of what ArcoLinux is, the left side, and what ArcoLinux is, right? This is the look of XFCE. But after we are done with it, that's it. And it's fun. It's fun to create your own look. And if you're ready to go to the phase where you say, okay, let's install ArcoLinux, you kind of will miss stuff, right? You'll miss stuff and say, I'm missing this particular application or that particular theme or stuff like that. You can add our spices, the ArcoLinux spices application. You can add our applications, our Lego blocks, our work of the last 4 years, and put it on an ArcoLinux. Why not, right? And this is the latest version we have of the ArcoLinux spices application. All right, a lot of information, nothing about the new stuff, but it's important. And it's also important that you share it with others. If you see a question that you can answer on Telegram and Discord, help them, right? All right, our red thing here. Let's read more. What did we do the last 3 months? The release of November 2020. Well, first of all, the vision. Our vision of the coming year, 2020-2021, and then it's, academic view of a year, right? We start in September and we end in July. We will focus on our workflow, so internally, behind the scenes. We will focus on our workflow, share knowledge, because some of you already contacted me and there are already a few spin-offs. But making spin-offs is not difficult. Maintaining them, support, helping users is, right? So it's important to remember that at some point in time, passion will become work. And sharing the workload with others is good, right? We need to become backups for each other. If somebody falls out because of an illness or anything like that, we need to be able to become a backup. For example, the release of September has been built by Marco. IceWM has been created by Nato. SpectreWM has been created by Nato and Steven, right? DWM has been created by Steven. So it's great to have this core team and being able to be sure that this project will continue, basically, right? We continue to develop new desktops, make tutorials about them, and sharing knowledge has always been essential, a central theme at ArcoLinux with the world. But some of the knowledge, of course, is quite internal, is behind the scenes. And that's what we're going to do behind the scenes. Share a lot of information how to maintain a distro. All right, so use our articles, use our videos, use our forum. Ask questions. Know this. If a distro is out there for 4 years, all questions probably have been asked already, right? So first look for the articles on our websites, then on our forum. Then ask, is there something new or updates always happen? And then you ask your question. All right, get the keys in from our core team. So our core team can also make packages. To make packages, you need a key. So the core team will be making ISOs, packages, signing them with their own keys. So it's relevant, of course, to do your updates. If you've done your updates, you're in the clear. If you start with a November ISO, you'll be in the clear, right? So at some point in time, this will be just void and everybody will have the keys of the members. And here are all the members: Marco, John, Steven, Brad, and Raniel, and myself. All right, we can all build our ISOs or packages or anything like that. The last months, all right, let's go here. The last months, we focused on 3 major topics. Maybe you followed the tutorials of ArcoLinux ISO or Carly. And then you saw that the Arch ISO was so much changed. It's like they've built just a new core, right? It's just a new delivery system completely. Now, Calamares is the way we put an ISO on an SSD, or so that's our delivery system. It's a way, practical way, a free way, also important, open source way to deliver an operating system on a computer. Arch ISO is the way to build that particular ISO that later will be delivered on the system. And the last thing we've focused on was DWM, right? So that's the 3 major topics that really ate up our hours, days, and weeks. Calamares is new, so 3.2.32.1, just for the KPM core. More information here. But the major time we've spent is helping out Calamares, testing out the new way to create a swap to file, or so rather having a partition, we create a file, swap to file, right? That's a new option that's available, which means it kind of looks like this, right? It looks like on the really root, so the slash, you'll find a file with the name swap file. And at this point in time, it's a fixed size, but surely in the future, we'll have the ability to change this particular size and make it bigger or smaller, the way we feel like it. But technically, that was important. Technically, it's working now. So swap to file has been an option. Well, it was in the code, but now it's working. So we've tested it for I don't know, a week or 2 weeks maybe, until we could report to Calamares it's working. All right. So maybe you hear a calling if you hear this, right? If you say, I have a problem, an issue with Calamares, it's not installing because of hardware A and hardware B and hardware C, first have a look. Go to Calamares. Go to, follow this link, for example. Find out on github.com Calamares if other people have the same issue. Then you can report, okay, I've got the same issue. Could you please fix it, right? Remember, to use the word please. It's a free software package. Or it has never been reported, and it's more important that you report it, right? If the issue, if the problem is never reported, it will never be fixed. It's up to you to do that. All right. Overall feel. Right. We had a lot of demands on our wish list, things to ask for on Calamares. And one of the things is that people thought that Calamares was frozen somewhere, right? It was like, didn't move, didn't change, and people could think everything was frozen. So we've told Adrian of Calamares that could we be more descriptive? Could we be more, could we make the slider progress a little bit different? See, so that people really know what's going on. And indeed, after a while, this code is in. You can easily see or find out, okay, he's busy, right? The numbers will tell you, the slider will tell you. It's gonna be much, much better. So that's improved. Now the hanging depends on how recent is your hardware. How is your internet speed? If you decide in Calamares to install lots and lots of packages, that's fine. But be patient, right? It needs to be downloaded. 1. It needs to be installed. 2. So wait for the process to end. Simple as that. Git bin has been added to the Calamares configuration. So in here, it's missing. If it's not there, it's missing. It just became a workflow thing, right? But this is also for the ArcoLinux developers and beta testers. So if you don't click on this thing, it just won't be installed. It's not gonna be on your system. But if you wanna learn about what changed on this particular GitHub, that's a great tool. Right mouse click, and you ask to open Git bin, and that's it. You'll see a easy way to read what's going on a GitHub, or any Git, right? GitLab, GitHub, Gitbucket, whatever, Git. All right, so interesting tool. ArcoLinux D, we've added IceWM to the Calamares config. So if you want to have IceWM, you click here, and IceWM will be installed. Don't forget LightYM one screen before. And then ArchISO. Oh my God, right? ArchISO has changed so much, so considerably. And the best way to if you really want to go in technical details, is to go and watch the Kali 9 videos. This is indeed the shortest item of them all, but it took us the most time to figure out how to build ISOs again on the new version of ArchISO 48. And in the meantime, we're at 49. So it's a process. It's always changing, but it's, like I said earlier, it's like a new car. All right, so we had to take a look at the code, read the code, figure out what to change and what to do. And a lot of time, weeks of time went to that. And Coritani is the man behind figuring out what needed to be done to get an ISO build again, right? To get an ISO build again. You can of course stick to an older version, 46, 45 and so on. But yeah, you need to evolve, right? You need to follow the, not brainless dead follow, but you need to follow the changes in ArchISO. And that's the difference between Kali, where we just follow exactly 100% ArchISO. And in ArcoLinux, we do not follow 100%. We think, we don't want this, we don't want that. We have no need of that Lego block. We don't want this either, and so on. So with ArcoLinux, we really investigate what do we want. All right. So it's fun to build. If you've never done that, you should have a look at arcolinuxb.com. Lots of videos in there, and building makes it interesting because it's your personal ISO. All right. DWM. Thanks to Coritani, he spent all his time, it seems, into developing this particular desktop. We have a new one, a new, very special actually, desktop. It's a difficult thing because it's actually an application. You need to build it, right? Sudo make and sudo make install stuff. It's a dynamic window manager. It comes from suckless.org, and that's a copy paste you can read yourself. It needs to be built rather than installed, which is strange, right? It's strange. Now, the goal of our DWM, and there are so many people out there with their own vision how DWM should look like, right? This is our vision. This is our way of looking at DWM and say, okay, we want it to be minimal, it needs to be fast, and it needs to be maintainable over the future. Because this, if you're talking about an application, right, you can patch things, and that's the word here. The more patches you put into DWM, the more likely it's going to go wrong, right? So we have, in the meantime, I think we have already 5 patches, but nevertheless, we keep you on it's all in there in the file. You can read what patches we've included, right? So we keep it to a minimum. We keep it to a minimum, and that gives us a beautiful new system. The one we show, I think somewhere up here, we've shown a DWM. Oh, it was the first page. I think it was the first page here, right? But again, any tiling window manager is quite minimal. There is no menu. There are some workspaces or tags or whatever the name is in Herbst WM or i3, all different names. Basically, it's kind of a workspace, right? But yeah, it results into a beautiful DWM that you can fall in love with, right? And you can keep on making patches, but that's not our goal. Our goal is not, that's might be your goal, right? Might be your goal, saying, okay, let's start with the ArcoLinux patches and all the DWM they've made, and then keep on working. That's up to you. You can always go back to what we have and have, again, a working system if things go wrong. We'll surely improve DWM. It's an ongoing thing, and surely we'll add more patches to it in the future, and it will, like any desktop, it will evolve over time, right? Oh, here's the picture underneath and the video. All right, we've been playing also with the idea to have an ArcoLinux B Kodi, right? Kodi is a way to show your family pictures, your family videos. When family is here at your home, you can just go there with an application called Kodi and have a look at them. Now we did not have any lot of spare time, right, to investigate this question here. Can we make a custom Kodi the way we see it? So at this point in time, it's still basically Kodi, right? But we do like some themes. We do like something like this and that and that. Can we put it on our ISO when we burn it and we install it? Then we get our custom Kodi. That's the question. Like I said, we did not have a lot of time. The idea is to have this installed near a television screen to enjoy music as well, and have a little nook, as they call it, or something similar, and put it behind your big screen, big television screen, and then watch some photos. So that's the question. We'll see what we'll do with Kodi. Then the general changes. We removed some packages. We've removed Evolution from the flagship. It's 50 megabytes less on our ISO, 150 megabytes less on our SSD, and several systemd services. When I was working on, I don't know what it was again, but I was looking into the systemd services, I was amazed how many services this application actually starts, right? So since we, as a group, ArcoLinux group core members, no one uses Evolution. We all go to the browsers and go to our Gmail or stuff. then we decided to get rid of this. So if you want it, it's sudo pacman -s evolution. It's there. PAMAC and the missing icons. We've added an automated fix to ArcoLinux. Sometimes our PAMAC AOR does not show the icons. It just gives a sign of there's nothing there, right? It all has to do with the package that comes from ArcoLinux upstream data. In there is something that just breaks PAMAC AOR, but not just PAMAC AOR, anything that uses ArcoLinux upstream data, like also the GNOME software application. So that one will break as well, because it's using this particular thing. Now we've done something so that when this package comes in, it gets fixed immediately. So we don't see anything anymore. We should not be needing anything anymore. Always talk with two words, right? But that's something that's out of the way. Less frustration. The icons will just be there in PAMAC AOR and in the GNOME software. We've done some new things. Well, I had this thing already. So the big thing here, new alias big in your bash RC. We added the alias big. So you just see, okay, what's the biggest package on my system? WP Office, VMware Workstation. Up to you, right? If you say, oh, Neverball, don't play with Neverball, sudo pacman -rs Neverball. It's a way to investigate and a video to explain it and to show also another tool, how to look at your system. Where is my gigabytes going to? It's a graphical representation, as you see here. That's not big, that's something else. We have also a new alias, downgrada, in your bash RC. Downgrade, I hope you know downgrade, which is super interesting. And sometimes users need to downgrade the Linux kernel, right? But that's not possible. So, yeah, just let's show you with the sudo. So a lot of Linux kernels, it can be sometimes frustrating and not much to do there. The only thing you can do is downgrade. Go, okay, say last week everything worked fine with the 5.8.14 and suddenly we went to 5.9 and everything changed for me. Okay, then you say I'll go back to this kernel and stay there until 5.10 comes out maybe and everything works again, right? So that's the downgrade. And while talking with the guys on the GitHub, the developers of downgrade, we got an idea and said, is it possible to also downgrade our packages? Of course, I say, lots of communication. And 3 days later, I just made a alias, downgrada, rather downgrade with an A, and an A stands for ArcoLinux. And all the packages we built for you, like Dropbox. And what are our packages? What do we build for you? All these things, that's from us, right? These things are pre-built, pre-packaged, pre-made for you. And there are things in here, that's the testing. So that's nothing for you, it's for beta testers and the core members to test something out. But the third party and the extra large are all things coming from the AOR. You can say, yay, Dropbox, or Spotify, or anything like it. But Dropbox is not coming from ArcoLinux. Community. It's coming from repo extra large, right? So it's coming from here and not from the AOR. You can install it from the AOR by pressing number 5, right? That's number 5. But normally sudo pacman -s Dropbox, simple as that, and sudo pacman -s Spotify. Why? It's all coming from us. So the versions, the older versions of Dropbox can be installed with downgrada, with an A, like here, like Zoom, like InSync and others. the new alias probe in your bash RC. If you don't have anything, if probe is not working, basically that's what they're saying there. This probe is not working. You did not install. Let's wait for it. There you go. So here you see the analysis of my hardware, and anything and all the logs that all my computer system can be shared are shared now on Linux hardware, probe, etc. Let's wait for it to pop up. Voila, Vivaldi. All right. So ArcoLinux rolling. Yeah, 64 bits. Okay, kernel, this one. That's my motherboard, vendor, year. 2020, you're 2 years old or 3 years old, right? Okay. And then KDE, yeah, sure, I'm on KDE, etc., etc. All the information that you can share with people. Say, I have a problem, with. And then we go and have a look together at the data and say, okay, might be a problem here. We can try to solve this with that, etc., etc. We can have a look together at the same data. So that's an interesting thing. Now, if probe doesn't work on your system, you forgot to install the missing packages, right? So we have this hidden folder, Ctrl-Shift-Enter. In home, there is this bin folder, stay rolling, 2020, 2009 to November, and we launch this, we run this, open terminal, we run this thing, and then all the dependencies are all installed. Close. And then you'll have probe, and you can try it out, and if you have a problem, you say, this is my link, this is my hardware link, and you put it on the forum, for example. All right, so that's probe if you want it. Now, XFCE, this is Plasma, right? But XFCE does not open up the menu when you press super. So this is my super. And that's because XFCE, the flagship anyway, XFCE, OpenBox, i3, they go together. And this super key will conflict with OpenBox. Hence, there is no super. But Alt F1 is actually a Plasma keyboard shortcut. Alt F1 is now also available in XFCE, just like on Plasma. So that's another way to open up your menu in XFCE. During our installations and on Discord and so on Telegram, we hear sometimes that people do not have troubles, let's say, with the ArcoLinux Welcome app when they are installing Calamares. But because what happens in a tiling window manager, you need to know the keyboard shortcuts. Closing something is Super Q or Ctrl-Shift-Q to quit things. So if you want to quit this thing, you need to know the keyboard shortcuts. To avoid that, we've added a button, quit, right? So if you have troubles closing in a tiling window manager, we've made it easy for you. This button closes it, and then Calamares gets the whole screen. You install whatever desktop you've chosen, and that's it. So that's more for beginners in tiling window managers, not knowing how to quit an application like this one, so that Calamares can get the whole screen. All right. Super Shift X, there were lots of Super Shift X things, and that's great and it's fine, but basically it instantly shuts down the desktop you were working on. And that's fine, unless you have 10 tags, 10 workspaces open, and it was a mistake. And it became a little bit frustrating that, well, sometimes we press this Super Shift X button thing and everything just shut down and was on light DM, and I said, oh my God, right? So it's there, the code is still there, but it's hashtagged out. It will not work anymore. Logging out is done via Super X. That's how we log out, right? Super X. And here Super X is going to activate this one. All right. ArcoLinux now supports VMware, which is great. We've adapted scripts and said, look, if you're on VMware, do this, do this, that. If you're on a VirtualBox, do this, that. If you're not on VirtualBox and not on VMware, do this and this and that, right? So basically that's it. So VMware will use, in my case, 1920 on 1080, which is the most troublesome thing always. That's the resolution that's not correct, right? So it's going to go full screen. Just remember Ctrl-Alt-Enter if you're on VMware. Very long time ago, and this time, better lock screen update causes transparency in the lock screen on XFCE. You see, we see some icons here of Discord through our lock screen. So if we've just changed the slider here from here to here, and that was the solution, right? Solved. The fun stuff. This particular fun stuff took me 15 minutes or less to make. It was a find somewhere, a find to make use of Say, to make use of images and of Fortune, and that's it basically. And we've just created something of our own, and they call them cows, right? Cows to be exact, for now. And this is one of the cows. So if you type ArcoLinux tell me, you get some text and you get a image, lots of images. So that's just for fun. You wanted ArcoLinux tell me -git, I guess, and you install it. Sudo pacman -s ArcoLinux. Tell me git was installed, is now installed again, and you have a look what it is. I'm not gonna read that. Right, that's ArcoLinux tell me for you. All right, well, we have a lot of work to do. We have to make DWM tutorials, we have to make ArcoLinux tutorials, we need to make Spectre WM tutorials. So we're a little feels like we're falling behind all that, but ArcoLinux D has to be created as well. We can't forget it either. So phase 3, where's DWM? Not there yet, right? Spectre WM is here, Ukui is here, but DWM is not here. And phase 5, the same, Archway installation. Some point in time, we choose a desktop. DWM should be in here. Ukui is here. Spectre WM is here, but we're missing DWM here. So that's also on the to-do list. And well, there will probably be other desktops to explore as well, but let's first try to do this work of all these tutorials. And then this video is the video what's new, right? The new release. There's always going to be also on how to stay rolling video. So if you start out with an ISO of January 2020, you just update, and you stay rolling. That's what it means, is you just update your system. That's this video. And the video I'm now making, that's the what is new video. So under here, we'll get this video, and then the article is complete. Now, what I should mention as well, with all these things of Dangrada, for example, right? We have on seathost, let's go here. We have the repos. Seathost costs us money, simple as that. It costs us money, and for the space, the bandwidth, and the hard disk space. Now, the more we put on here, and we're growing always, like for instance these packages, this is where Dangrada is, right? Where is it coming from? It's coming from somewhere, and we have to pay for it. So Dropbox has been there from 22 of October. So all this extra service, all the packages were built from the AOR, this thing, that thing, all the packages from us, this thing, all the ISOs we show you already here on the AAG. So this is the release. This is going to move to here, to the ISO. Now, right now we still have the November version there. Just saying that it all costs money, right? And there is this button here that says donation. There are two ways to donate. You either donate money to PayPal, no commission, which is the most interesting part for us, or you become a partner of Patreon, or you go buy t-shirts or sweatshirts or caps or whatever. I mean, there's a lot in the shop, and that means you buy a gadget, and a part of the money, of course, not totally, but a part of the money goes to ArcoLinux. And this way we can continue to exist, because it all costs money. It really is. Shouldn't come as a surprise at all. And on the other hand, you could think of ArcoLinux of being some kind of university, some kind of school. And that's our way of thinking anyway, because we work with phases, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and you learn more as you go along. And you can have, here's our learning path, right? And you can start here and choose go through all the menus, and then, well, choose what element you're interested in, right? So, a call to donate if you can. All right. All right. Enjoy ArcoLinux. There's a lot has changed. A lot of new things again. DWM is there. A lot of fun, and well, you'll have to wait for the tutorials to learn more. All right. Cheers.